This podcast is brought to you by the Average Intelligence Podcast.
Welcome back to the AI Analysis Podcast. With Black Friday around the corner, you may be wondering if it's really worth all the hassle. Well, we have data that may surprise you. Today, we are doing a deep dive into, what is probably the most intense American cultural phenomenon out there, Black Friday.
Oh, absolutely.
It's this ritual, right? It's all fueled by hype and this almost panicked message that if you miss the doorbusters, you've missed out for the whole year.
And that's the narrative we really want to unpack today. Our mission is to just cut through that marketing and look at the hard data.
Okay.
Because the uncomfortable truth, is that the numbers show Black Friday is, well, it's often a high-risk gamble. It can be physically dangerous, financially deceptive, and it leads to this massive impulse spending and debt.
So this is a shortcut. If you're wondering whether to even bother this year, we're going straight to the real value proposition, or maybe the lack of one.
Exactly. We want to empower you to decide if the spectacle is really worth the long-term cost.
Okay, let's get into it. Retailers are always calling this the biggest sale of the year, but what do the actual data sources, the people who track this stuff, what do they say about the discounts?
Well, they say the spectacle is largely manufactured. Data from multiple analytics firms show a really consistent trend.
Which is?
The majority of Black Friday markdowns, they fall squarely between about 25 and 35%.
That sounds decent, but I'm guessing there's a catch.
The catch is that it's not special. That 25 to 35% range, you can find that at almost any other major sale during the year. It's routine, not unprecedented.
So the whole premise of it being this once-a-year opportunity is statistically false.
It is. And if your goal is just maximum savings, there are objectively better times to shop.
Like when?
You're actually much better off just waiting a few weeks. The January clearance events, for instance, routinely offer huge discounts. We're talking 50 to 70% off.
That completely flips the script. So if you can double your discount by waiting, why is Black Friday so dominant? I'm guessing it's about creating the illusion of a deal.
That is precisely it. The illusion. Retailers have mastered this. They use what's called a false anchor price.
How does that work?
Research shows a lot of U.S. retailers will systematically raise their prices 2 to 6 weeks before Black Friday hits.
So they mark it up just to mark it down.
Exactly. So that 40% off sticker you see is based on an inflated temporary price, not what the item usually costs. We've seen specific examples. Home Depot increasing tool prices in October only to label them as doorbusters in November.
And I'm sure it's not just them.
Oh, it's everywhere. Think about Kohl's. They've been documented raising shelf prices right before advertising a big 40% off sale. You think you're getting a huge deal, but you might only be saving 10% compared to the price from September.
That's a really effective tactic. But brings up a bigger question. Beyond the money, what about the risk? The chaos, the stampedes we see on the news. Is that just media hype, or is the danger actually real?
It's unfortunately very real, and the data confirms it. There's a website, blackfridaydeathcount.com, that aggregates police and media reports.
Wow, that's a grim name for a website.
It is. And it's recorded 17 deaths and over 125 serious injuries directly linked to Black Friday events.
17 deaths.
Yes. And these aren't just abstract numbers. Think back to 2008. A Walmart employee in Long Island was trampled to death when 2,000 shoppers just burst through the door.
I remember hearing about that. It was horrifying.
And that same year, 2 men were shot and killed inside a Toys R Us in California over some merchandise.
It puts the whole thing in a completely different light.
Yeah.
You have to wonder what discount is possibly worth that kind of risk.
Exactly. And now let's shift from physical safety to the quality of the products themselves, because even if you get the item safely, the return rates tell a whole other story.
I would guess they're pretty high, just because of all the impulse buying.
They're massive. A company called Optero reports that between 30 and 35% of all Black Friday purchases are returned. For clothing, it gets close to 50%.
50%. Half of the clothes bought are returned.
Half. And get this. It adds up to an estimated 5 billion pounds of returned goods going into U.S. landfills every year.
5 billion pounds. Wow. So why are people returning so much stuff? Is it just buyer's remorse, or is something else going on?
It's often a structural issue with the product. Many of these items are what we call derivative models.
What does that mean?
It means they were made specifically for the event to hit a low price point. Consumer Reports found that about 78% of Black Friday electronics, like TVs and laptops, are different from the standard models.
So it's not the same TV you were looking at a month ago.
Not at all. It might have a screen with lower brightness or a slower processor, maybe a limited warranty. The discount is real because the product itself is, frankly, cheaper to make. You're trading quality for price.
So, okay. We have manufactured discounts, inferior products, actual physical danger. Why do people still participate in the in-store rush?
Well, that's the interesting part. The first thing to know is that most people don't anymore. The in-store rush is kind of nostalgic at this point.
Right, it's all moved online.
It has. 88% of all Black Friday purchases now happen online. That was $9.8 billion in 2023. In-store foot traffic has plummeted more than 60% since 2009.
So the risk of a stampede is lower, but the psychology is still at play.
The psychology trap works perfectly online. Deloitte found that 54% of shoppers don't even have a specific purchase in mind. They're just browsing for something that looks like a good deal.
And that's where it gets really interesting for me, the regret factor. You buy it in the heat of the moment, but that good feeling doesn't last.
It vanishes almost immediately. The metrics are they're striking. 72% of impulse buys are caused by that deal pressure, that fear of missing out.
And the results?
43% of shoppers regret a purchase within a single week. The whole system rewards impulse, not strategy. It's a massive waste of time and money.
That data on regret is pretty sobering. It's actually a perfect place to pause for a quick word from our sponsor. We'll be right back to talk about how credit cards can turn a supposed sale into a long-term loan.
We choose to go to the moon and participate and do the other things.
Weird.
You know, someone said that frickin' Panera's Pepsi's taste funny.
Better.
No, I mean,
What?
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about how Black Friday is built on manufactured discounts and often inferior products. Let's look at the alternative people talk about. Cyber Monday. Is it just more of the same, or is it actually better?
The data strongly suggests Cyber Monday is the better option, especially for big-ticket items.
Really?
Yes. For 4 straight years, Cyber Monday has outperformed Black Friday in total online sales. It hit $12.4 billion in 2023.
And what about the actual deals? Are they better?
They are. For electronics and appliances, those items are typically 5 to 10% cheaper on Monday than they were on Friday. You get a better discount, and you don't have to leave your house.
That seems like a no-brainer then.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's focus on the bottom line. How much do people actually save versus how much they spend?
This is the most critical part of the whole equation. The average Black Friday shopper spends around $430.
Okay.
But their actual realized savings, it's only between $55 and $85. The entire system is built to make you spend a lot to save a little.
And that's where the credit card trap comes in, right?
It's where the trap springs shut. Nearly half of all these purchases are made with credit cards. And with the average credit card APR at a record high of, 20.7%, that $55 discount disappears fast.
That's the real gut punch. How long does that debt stick around?
It's shocking. LendingTree reports that a full 25% of Americans are still carrying their Black Friday debt into June of the next year.
6 months later. Wow.
Let's do the math on that. Say you buy a $500 laptop that was on sale from $650. You saved $150. Great.
right.
But if you only make minimum payments on a 20% APR card, the interest just piles up. That $500 laptop can end up costing you over $1,000.
So you didn't save $150. You ended up paying $400 more than the original non-sale price.
Precisely. The interest completely erases the discount and then some. The bottom line is unforgiving. If you can't pay that balance off right away, it's not a sale. It's a high-interest loan.
Okay, let's just pull all of this together. We have manufactured discounts, lower quality products, dangerous crowds, and then this crushing debt that wipes out any savings you might have made.
The data is really clear. I mean, Black Friday is a high-stress ritual built on manufactured urgency and scarcity. For most people, you'll get far better, more reliable savings by just waiting for January clearance without any of the chaos.
And I want to leave you with a final provocative thought on this. Think about the risk of shopping in-store today. We know holiday staffing at stores is down maybe 10 or 12%. At the same time, in-store security incidents are up over 20% since 2019.
Fewer staff, more incidents. Not a good combination.
Not at all. So the true cost of chasing that doorbuster today isn't just financial. It's a physical risk that, frankly, retailers are less prepared to handle than ever before.
There you have it. Looks like Black Friday may not live up to the hype. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and join us for our next episode. We post twice a week. See you next time.